Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Fletcher, and I am the academic recruiter for the college. Thank you all for joining us this evening. And as always, we are delighted to bring these information sessions your way. We want to make sure that you are well informed about the programs and opportunities available at CVCC. Now, each week, in addition to our regular presentations, we try to introduce you to faculty, staff, program, and resources, people you need to know, and things you need to know about. And this evening is no different. Tonight, we have with us a representative from our Student Success Center, Ms. Joy Adams. Joy will be talking with us about the Success Center in general and tutoring in particular, and how important tutoring is to your academic success. So I would encourage you to tune in real sharply this evening. Get your questions together. We love questions. There will be a Q&A at the end. So get those questions together again, because those questions help us go a little bit deeper in terms of the information that we share with you. So get your questions together. We have several other presenters this evening as well. Each one of them will have about 7 minutes, and they will each share with you their role that they will play in helping you get started at CVCC. Now on this panel, we have Michael Duncan. Michael, wave at the nice people. He is a representative from the admissions office. Ryan McNamara is representing financial aid. Brittany Cochran is our navigator. She's gonna talk with you about onboarding, how to get started. Mark Zacola, our counselor, will be talking with you about academic programming. And then Deanne McDaniel will round the corner and talk with you about a lot of the fun things that you can expect coming forth in the fall. We also have on the panel Hunter Overstreet. Hunter is our student success coordinator. Now, he's not presenting tonight, but he is here to answer any questions that you might have. So to get us started, Dean Ferris is gonna come and say a hello, and after that, Brittany will come and lay out the rules of engagement for this evening. Dean Ferris?
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. And thank you all for coming tonight. We're so happy to see you all. How you doing tonight? Can you give me a wave? Yay! I see you all out there. Well, I'm not going to take up too much of your time because we've got a wonderful program tonight. Just a few things, you know, fall enrollment is going full blast. We are very excited. We've made some videos that we posted to the website about how everything is going to work. And we're very excited about fall. So that's about it from me for right now. Brittany, I'm going to send it over to you and you can get us started with some ground rules.
Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I see a couple familiar names and some new faces, so that is exciting. I want to just let you guys know some rules using Zoom. I'm not sure if this is anybody's first time, but just so you know, at the bottom left-hand corner on your screen, you should see the option to be able to mute and unmute yourself. So feel free to unmute yourself if you ever want to ask a question. Same way that you can also show your video. So right next to mute, you should see an option to show your video. We love to see your smiling faces. And then kind of in the middle of the screen, you should see a little icon that has a chat feature. That's gonna get you to the chat box. So that's another way that you can just go ahead and type in any questions that you may have during the session tonight, and we can get to them that way. And then one other thing I wanna point out is the little reactions icon. That is how you can give us a thumbs up or a clap if you hear something that you like. That lets us know. And then just so you guys are aware, you can change the view of your Zoom. In the upper right hand corner, you'll see an option to be able to show either the speaker view or what's called gallery view. I'm not sure if you're using a cell phone, it might not work for you, but if you're on a laptop, that way you can see everybody all at once in that gallery view. So we will get started tonight with what is called our first poll. And this is for us to figure out how you heard about the session. So we're just curious what the best way is to reach out to you. So if you heard, you know, through social media, a friend or a text message, email, go ahead and just select which option you found out about this session. And just so you know, the polls that we'll be doing tonight, they are all anonymous. So we can't see who's selecting what. So I'll give you guys just a couple more seconds on this one. All right, so you guys can see that it looks like mainly through text message and email. is how you heard about the session tonight. So that is great. So we'll close out of that now and we'll get started with our presenters. And I'm going to pass it on to Miss Joy Adams, who is from our Student Success Center, to talk about tutoring.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Joy, and I coordinate the Student Success and Testing Center for CVCC. Since we're not on campus right now, we will skip the testing information and just talk about tutoring. So we're providing tutoring services just like we would on campus normally through Zoom using our CVCC tutors. And I will tell you, when we went remote, some of the students were really skeptical about using Zoom, and some of the tutors too. But it worked out really well. Students, for the most part, loved it, and they even want us to keep it as an option when we go back to campus eventually. Because, you know, with Zoom, we've learned to share a screen. You can use the whiteboard, and there's all kind of different things that makes it easy to help cover material with other people. For us, you can schedule appointments for tutoring in several ways. You can do it yourself by logging on to My CVCC and clicking on the Navigate Student link and just following the steps. You can also call us. We're there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and we would be more than happy to make your appointments for you. Once we have scheduled you, you should receive a confirmation email just to make sure that you've got the right time and date that you requested. Some tutors, it's easy after that. Some tutors will just send you the Zoom link right before the session, and some will actually schedule it out a couple days. So just be aware of that and make sure you check your email. This fall, we plan to have tutors for accounting 211 and 212, biology 101, 102, anatomy and physiology 141 and 142, most business classes, chemistry 111, 112, computer classes, especially the ITE 115. We have a lot of students that get help in that. Criminal justice, economics, history, medical terminology, music, political science, psychology, sociology, and Spanish. So we have a wide range of subjects, and since we're working from home, we try to be flexible. So if your time just doesn't fit with the tutors, a lot of times just give us a call and we'll try to accommodate you the best that we can. I would say one of the most important things working with any of the tutors or the centers is to make sure that you do not wait until you're really struggling in your class. So please start early, and if that just means you need help clarifying some concepts or reviewing material with a person, that is great. You can come in as often as you like. You don't have to stay for the entire time. Really, it's just what works best for you and how you want to do it as your student. In addition to the tutoring services that we offer through CVCC, we also have BrainFuse, and it's an online tutoring platform that CVCC provides free to students. The advantage of the BrainFuse is you can really access a tutor for most of the subjects that we have and additional ones 24/7. So if we're closed and you're working on an assignment late at night or need help, you can log on to this and get help at any time. You get 5 free hours a semester. If you find it helpful and really like it, then all you have to do is contact me and I can add hours to your account. I did that several times this summer for students several times. It also has a number of free study aids in it, such as study cards, study guides that's completely free to you, for you to access. And I just want to, we hope you have a positive experience and want you to be successful. So these resources are there for you. So I just say, please take advantage of them to get help. And that's pretty much it. I'm done, and I'll pass it on to Michael.
Well, thank you, Joy. Hello, everyone. My name is Michael, and I work in the Admissions and Records Office. I just want to briefly let you know about what you need to do to apply, and also a couple of things to keep in mind as a brand new student. Now, if you're already a student with us, then congratulations and welcome to CVCC. But if you're not yet a student with us, you'll want to go to our website to apply, www.centralvirginia.edu. And on the left side of the page, there's a button that says Start Here. You'll click that and you'll be taken to another page with a big tab that says Apply Online. If you click that, you'll be taken to the application portal where you'll create your account using your personal email address, and then you'll be able to access the application. And the application itself will only take you about 5 to 10 minutes to complete, so it's pretty short. But you'll want to take your time and read the questions carefully to prevent any errors on your student account once you get that submitted. Now, once you submit your application, you'll receive an email confirmation to your personal email address that contains your CVCC student ID number, so you'll want to make sure that you keep that, write that down, and also a welcome message to CVCC. And this email serves as essentially your acceptance letter to the college. And at this point, you're accepted to CVCC and you're considered a student with us. So it really is that easy. And once you're accepted as a student, you can get your high school or other college transcripts to us as well. Now, there are a couple of scenarios in which you do not need to submit the application. Number one, if you are a current dual enrolled student who is currently taking classes or just took classes, you would already be in our system as an active student, so there's really no need to submit another application. And number two, if you've taken classes with us within the past 3 years, you also would still be in our system as an active student, and there's no need to submit the application again. Now, once you are accepted, you'll want to set up your student accounts. And you can do this by clicking the My CVCC button in the upper right-hand corner of the home page, and you'll be able to set up a username and password to access your student account. And this way you can check your accounts for any registration holds that you might need to get resolved before enrolling in classes. And also to check to see if you're classified as an in-state student or an out-of-state student. And this is the last thing that I wanted to mention this evening. You know, one of the benefits of attending CVCC is that we can offer an in-state tuition rate to domiciled Virginia residents, which is lower than our out-of-state rate. And the admissions application has a section on it called My Background. And there is where you establish your eligibility to receive the in-state rate. So you want to make sure to pay close attention to those questions. Just giving us a Virginia address as your mailing address doesn't automatically qualify you for the in-state rate. Now, if you are classified out of state and you think you should be in state, then you're more than welcome to appeal that. You'll just need to contact the Admissions and Records Office and we can walk you through the appeal process. Well, I think that's about all I wanted to mention for the admissions process. Again, feel free to contact our office with any specific questions you might have and we'll be happy to get you taken care of. So this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Ryan McNamara in the Financial Aid Office.
Great, thank you, Michael. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this session. So I'm going to talk to you real briefly about financial aid. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So hopefully you all see that. It should say welcome and congratulations. So I want to say welcome and congratulations to all of you. So whether you have just graduated high school or you've been out of high school for a while and are kicking the tires about going to college or returning to college, welcome and congratulations. We are here for you and we want to do everything we can to make it a smooth transition for you. So how do you pay for college? So Michael just went through the apply for admission portion. So I want to talk to you about applying for federal student aid. And that's the next step in being able to pay for college. So what you want to do is complete the FAFSA. The FAFSA can be accessed at fafsa.gov. So fafsa.gov, not fafsa.com, not fafsa.org. Those places will charge you for what you can do for free. So again, fafsa.gov is the website. If you have problems or trouble, feel free to reach out to our financial aid office. At the last slide, we'll have our email address. So I would encourage you to send us an email if you're having trouble, or like I said, you can give us a call as well and we can help you. So how much does CVCC cost? So Michael had mentioned the in-state, the Virginia in-state tuition rate. So as a Virginia resident, the tuition rate is $161.25 per credit hour. So if you're enrolled full-time, let's say 12 credit hours, it would be $161.25 times 12. So that would be your tuition and fees. That's what you're going to be charged for the semester. The good news, though, is that we have financial aid available for you. As I mentioned earlier, the FAFSA will determine your financial need, and that's how we determine what aid you're eligible for. So if you are enrolling for this upcoming fall semester that begins in August, you're going to want to complete the 2020-21 FAFSA. Again, the website fafsa.gov. Keep in mind, if you're under the age of 24, you will need a parent to also sign the FAFSA. So they're going to need to create the FSA, the Federal Student Aid ID, along with you as the student, because it's also going to ask for parent information, income information, things like that. One thing to keep in mind, once you submit your FAFSA, if we request additional documentation from you, please submit that to us as soon as you can, because your financial aid will not be processed, or we cannot award you your financial aid until all those documents are in. So keep that in mind. If we're requesting additional documentation, get that in as soon as you can. So why should you complete the FAFSA? So our spring students that just finished up a couple months ago, of those that submitted the FAFSA, 85% received some type of financial assistance. And for those that did not submit the FAFSA, only 3% received some type of aid. So again, you're definitely more likely to receive financial aid if you submit the FAFSA. So that's definitely a reason we want you to submit it. So for this upcoming fall semester, awarding has already begun. So if you have applied for admission and you have submitted your FAFSA and gotten all the documents in that we've requested from you, you should be awarded your fall financial aid. If you have done all of those steps, but you don't see any financial aid awarded to you, definitely send us an email and we can look up your situation and see what the status is on your financial aid. But we are awarding financial aid for the fall. So some of the aid that you may be eligible for: the federal Pell Grant is based on the FAFSA. In order to be eligible for the Pell Grant, you have to be enrolled in a degree-seeking program and have not received your first bachelor's degree. So as a full-time student, you can receive up to about $6,300 a year in the Pell Grant. There's also another FSEOG, which is another federal need-based grant. The one thing I want to point out with that is that there's limited funds available on that. So it's first come, first serve. So if you are eligible and you qualify for it, we will award you that FSEOG until the money has run out. So you don't want to wait too long to apply for admission and also to submit your FAFSA to us. There's also some state grants that you may be eligible for. The Commonwealth Grant is for Virginia residents enrolled 6 credit hours or more. And then there's also the PTAP, the Part-Time Tuition Assistance Program, which is for part-time students enrolled 1 to 8 credit hours. So whether you are enrolled 1 credit hour all the way up to full-time, there is financial aid available to you, all right? We also have an educational foundation application. This is a separate application that you would submit. The application is open now for this upcoming fall semester. The link is there at the bottom. If you want a copy of this PowerPoint presentation, definitely send us an email and ask for a copy of it, and we'll be glad to email it to you. That way you can have the link on this screen and the other screens as well. But we do have an educational foundation which you can receive aid above and beyond the federal and the state financial aid. We also offer loans. So the federal direct loans are guaranteed. They do not go through a credit check. They don't go through an income. There's no income requirement for those. If you want the loan, you submit the FAFSA. There's another document that you have to fill out. But if you want the loan, you're eligible for it and you can receive it. So if you need assistance that way, that's available to you. We also have work on campus. Once we return on campus, all back together, there is work available for you. So it's a nice added benefit for you to be enrolled in school and then also be able to work in the same place. That way you don't have to travel from one place to the other. The average student works about 15 hours a week and you're paid like a regular job, So that's an added benefit as well. There's a net price calculator on our website. So if you're curious, you haven't applied for financial aid yet, and you just want to get an idea of how much aid you may be eligible for, you can go to this website. It asks only a handful of questions, and it will give you a good estimate of what financial aid you may be eligible for this upcoming year. We also have a tuition payment plan. So if you have a balance due for the semester and you can't pay it all in one lump sum, you can fill out for the tuition payment plan. It will spread your monthly payments over 3 or 4 months, and that makes it a little easier for you to do monthly payments rather than one lump sum all at one time. And one other question that a lot of people ask is, can you use financial aid to purchase books and maybe even a laptop? And the answer is yes. So if your financial aid, if you receive more financial aid, more scholarships and grants than what your charges are, your tuition and fees, then you have extra money that you could use towards books. We have a bookstore on campus, and so that makes it convenient. So you can get your books and your supplies through the bookstore, which would also include a laptop if you need one of those. So the last thing I want to say is things have changed. So when you submit your 2020-21 FAFSA, it's looking at 2018 income information. And a lot of things have changed since 2018. So if your family maybe is earning less, maybe a parent has lost their job or hours have been reduced, and so their income now is not the same as in 2018, reach out to our financial aid office and let us know. We can walk you through. There's an application that you can fill out where we could possibly make an adjustment to your FAFSA to hopefully get you to be more eligible for more financial aid, okay? So here's our contact information. Again, our email address is financialaid@centralvirginia.edu, so it's easy to remember, financialaid@centralvirginia.edu. So that's our contact information. If you would like a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, definitely send us an email. And with that being said, Brittany, any questions?
Yep, so we've got a good question for you. So somebody named, their username is popping up as iPhone, so I'm not sure what your name is, but they're asking, if you're under the age of 24 and you are financially self-sufficient, do you still need a parent to sign for financial aid?
So that's a good question, and we get that question a lot. In most cases, the answer is yes. So when you fill out the FAFSA, it's going to ask you about 9 or 10 different questions, like, are you, under the age of 24? Are you married? Are you working on your graduate degree? Are you in the military? It's going to ask for several things. If you answer no to all of those, it makes you a dependent student, meaning we need parent information. Now, a lot of times students will say, well, I file my own taxes. I live in an apartment by myself. That does not necessarily make you automatically independent. So if you have a serious question about it and you think you may qualify to be independent, I would encourage you reach out to our financial aid office. Either give us a call or send us an email. Somebody will get back with you and kind of walk through to find out more details on your specific situation. But in general, usually the answer is you would need parent information even if you're kind of living on your own. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
We've got one more question that was sent to me. So asking about if you need to fill out the FAFSA in order to pay for classes, and if not, how do you pay for classes?
Okay, so we do not require you to submit the FAFSA. So you don't have to submit the FAFSA. Again, it's free. It does not cost you anything other than maybe 30 minutes of your time. Once you submit the FAFSA, that will determine if you're eligible for any federal or state aid. If you don't want to do that and you just want to make a payment, you can just go to our website. There's a link somewhere that says something like how to pay for college. Mm-hmm. And then you can either pay online or you can call accounting and make a payment over the phone, or you can mail in a check. So the answer is you don't have to do the FAFSA. If you want to just pay everything out of pocket, you're more than welcome to do so. But at the same time, we definitely encourage you to submit the FAFSA because you never know what you may be eligible for.
And we've got some other good questions. Danielle is asking if you have to be enrolled in classes to receive financial aid.
Good question. So yes, you do have to be enrolled in classes. So one of the things is, so if you, let's say you're planning on enrolling and attending this upcoming fall, we will award your financial aid once your FAFSA is in, but we don't actually send the money to the business office or to accounting until after that first week of class. And so we have to wait until you are enrolled and you've started taking classes before we actually award your financial aid, before you will actually receive a refund if you have more financial aid than actual charges on your account.
Perfect. And then just in case everybody didn't see the chat, we had another question asking if 12 credits is what's considered full-time, and I just responded yes. So 12 credit hours is what makes you full-time. Anything under 12 is considered part-time or half-time. So, all right. So thank you, Ryan. I think that wraps up some of our financial aid questions. I will go ahead and get started with our next part, which is how to get enrolled at CVCC. So some of you may be at that step. Hopefully most of you have already applied to the college, which Michael Duncan spoke to us about, and then we just heard about financial aid from Ryan. My role at CVCC is a college navigator, and part of that is to just help you be successful throughout your first year and really your entire time at CVCC. So if you're still needing help with the application process for applying to CVCC or FAFSA, that's something that we can help you with. I can help connect you with people as well that can work with you through those applications. But once you've applied and once you've got your FAFSA done, you're ready to get enrolled in classes. So it's a very exciting time picking out your class schedule. Before you actually enroll in classes, we need to determine your placement for the subjects of math and English. And it can vary depending on what program, degree program you may be seeking with us. So for things like math and English, if you are right out of high school, recent high school graduate, congratulations. We're going to ask that you get those high school transcripts sent to us so we can review your GPA to see if we can determine your placement based on GPA or your SAT or ACT scores if you were able to take those. This will also apply to anybody who has graduated from high school, maybe within the last 4 years or so, but you haven't taken any college classes yet. We can also review your transcripts. If we're not able to use your GPA or test scores for placement, typically we would have you do what's called a Virginia placement test, and you would have done that either on campus with us, or we would have come to the local high schools and given that test to you. Since we're all remote right now during this time, we have some other measures in place. There is a practice placement test that we can send you where you're able to do it at home, and we'll go over those results with you. And we'll review your transcripts. And the whole part of this is to determine your placement where you need to be. We're not going to set you up to be in a class that you're not quite ready for or a class that you don't need for your degree program, okay? For those of you that may be 5 years or more out of high school, and if you haven't taken college classes, then you meet the requirements for an adult self-placement, and that's essentially where you are opting out of the placement test and you're placing yourself into a class. Again, we'll meet with you and go over and see what the best option is for you. But that way you're able to go ahead and get enrolled in classes without taking the placement test. Again, we want to make sure that you're ready for the class you're trying to set yourself up for. So we may request previous high school transcripts from you to look at, or college transcripts, depending on the work you took there. If you happen to have taken college classes already and you have taken the subjects of math and English, definitely get those transcripts in, like Michael Duncan had mentioned, because we may be able to bring those credits over, and then that is how you can meet the prerequisites for math and English that way, okay? So there's multiple different ways. You'll want to schedule a meeting with us, and I'll be posting all of our contact information in the chat in a little bit, so you'll know how to call our office to get an appointment set up, or you can call and speak to one of us the same day. You may find yourself leaving a voicemail with us, and then we will get right back to you. You can also reach us by email, but we will meet with you. We can schedule a meeting just like this through Zoom. We can also meet with you over the phone if you prefer that. And that's how we'll be able to help you determine what your next step is as far as getting enrolled. Once the placement is determined, then is the fun part of making your class schedule. It may have been mentioned already earlier in the session, but we will be online for the fall, mostly online for fall classes. It'll be a mix of classes like this, online Zoom, just like this, just like Joy had mentioned that the tutors can meet with you like this as well. And then we also have virtual classes with no meeting time, where they're just online and you would log on whenever it works with your schedule to keep up with your work. So we can help you figure out that class schedule. Anybody interested in our technical studies, you guys will hear a little bit more about that later. The hands-on technical studies will be on campus. Most of that will be on campus hands-on. So that kind of wraps that up. Let me see if there are any questions. I just have one question asking if students are emailed after they send their transcripts to the records office. How are they notified that their transcripts have been received? I don't know if you want to take that one, Michael, about transcripts that have been received.
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, that's okay. A student is just asking if they are going to be emailed after they send their transcripts to your office. Like, how are they notified that the transcripts have been received?
Sure. Normally what happens is the institution that is sending your transcripts over, they'll let you know that they've been sent. To be absolutely certain, I would actually contact the admissions and records office to check with us. And I posted the contact information in the chat box, so you can copy and paste that to another document if you want. But what I would do just to make sure that you get a communication is that you reach out to us to ask.
Yep, great. And also, I'll just add that in your advising appointment, when you're speaking with one of us, just ask us. If you're not sure, say, hey, could you please check to see if my transcripts have been received yet? And we can certainly look into that for you too. Okay, so I've got one more, another poll for us to do. And let's see here. This poll is going to gather what programs you all are interested in studying. So go ahead and select whether you're interested in transferring or, paramedic, EMT, any of our technical studies. So we will talk to you a little bit more about our programs. And I'll give everyone a few more seconds on this poll. All right. So it looks like we have a good mix. We've got students interested in transferring, our EMT, some of the other health fields, and welding and machine tool. So now I will pass it on to Mark Zicola, one of our counselors, who will talk to you a little bit more about our program.
Thank you, Brittany. CVCC, where your future begins. It's more than just a slogan here. Students just like you from all walks of life, all amongst this region, have started here, be it a transfer program or looking to secure a trade or a skill, and have had successful experiences and they have reached their goal. And it can happen to any one of you. CVCC serves two primary roles. Those looking to transfer to a four-year institution and those looking to enter the workforce as quickly as possible. And we're going to talk about those two paths. CVCC's primary role when it comes to transferring is to provide you with the general requirements that you would be mandated to take if you went directly to that four-year institution. So your Englishes, your maths, lab sciences and histories, social sciences, speech classes, at a fraction of the cost of going to that four-year institution. CVCC has many support services in addition to Joy's student success team and the free tutoring. We have a writing center, we have a math lab, we have a student accessibilities coordinator to assist you in your journey. We offer, what do we offer? We offer guaranteed admission agreements and articulation agreements, which essentially are contracts between ourselves and the four-year institutions, which state if you fulfill those requirements, there will be a seat waiting for you upon graduation. And again, you must fulfill all of those contract obligations, but it is a nice perk not to have to worry, oh, gee, will there be room this year? I understand a lot of people have applied to my favorite choice. So it's a nice opportunity. If you want to learn more about those guaranteed admission agreements, about the transfer process, please contact us, Brittany, myself, our colleagues within the counseling department. And then we've got the trade and skill side of things. In our poll, some of you are interested in allied health programs, machining or welding, paramedic program. We have a wonderful reputation here in Region 2000 with area industry. They rely on us to provide them with competent employees. So we provide you with the tools and the knowledge to secure that trade, be it culinary arts, mechatronics, medical laboratory technology, to go into the workforce qualified and competent to assist those employers in their endeavors, and also helping you fulfill your goals and your dreams. If you're interested in one of our trade or skill-based programs, please keep in mind, every time you attend class, whether that is in person or virtually during these times, you are auditioning for a job. Are you showing up on time? Are you prepared? Have you read the necessary information? Have you completed the necessary projects? Your instructors are going to be noting your behavior, your work ethic in these classes. And when it's time to ask for letters of recommendation and whatnot, or when employers call our program heads wanting to know, hey, who do you have good that's getting ready to graduate? You want your name mentioned. So go in there every day knowing, whoa, I can show them what I'm made of today, what kind of skills that I've developed and what I bring to the table for my future employer. I like to end with a story in each of these open sessions. So last week, I met with a student, virtually of course, and he had been my student in college success skills back in 2009. I was young back in 2009. And so my point in sharing this is we are still community. We often talk about students, once you come to CVCC, you are family. And he's been away for a little while. Life happened for a bit where academics could not be his focus and his priority. But he's coming back now after all these years to finish what he started. So you can come back home. So whether you're a returning student, whether you're a brand spanking new, we are family here for you, and we welcome you to our family. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. I believe we have another poll, so Brittany, if you would please.
Great, thank you, Mark. Okay, so no questions right now in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and launch another poll for us. We are curious to find out, what is your favorite form of social media? So go ahead and select which one. It's only going to let you pick one. Just pick your favorite, which one you feel you use the most. Some of these I haven't even heard of. And then I will explain why we want to know this. Give everyone a few more seconds here. Again, this is anonymous for anyone that joined late, so we can't see what you're selecting. All right, so we'll go ahead and share these results. So you can see that it looks like Facebook is what most people are using. Instagram, Snapchat, and other. So whoever selected other, I'm curious, you can either unmute yourself and say what it is, or you can type it in the chat, what other social media platform you feel you use the most. So we will close out of that now, and I'm going to pass it on to our coordinator of student life, Ms. Deanne McDaniel.
Thank you, Brittany. Good evening, everyone. So have you heard from my colleagues tonight a lot about the academic piece of college? Well, I'm here to talk to you about the non-academic piece. And in college, you have two types of learning. You have your in-class academic piece, and then you have your out-of-class non-academic piece, and that's where I come in. So through your involvement in student life, you would get this non-academic piece of learning. Now, it's not like you have tests or anything like that. Your learning that you get is through your participation in clubs, being a leader, or in the relationships that you make, being involved in a club, whether it's in an officer position or just as a club member. Also, you get to try new things, and of course, you make new friends. But all of these skills are things that you can either use personally or professionally once you graduate from CVCC. So you're probably wondering, how do you get involved? Like I mentioned, you can join one of our clubs that we have. Some of them are our crew. We have a games club. We also have a student veterans organization. The leadership opportunities that we provide are through our Student Government Association, which is very similar to what you probably experienced in high school. And then we also have our Student Ambassador Program, which is a program that works very closely with Michelle Fletcher and normally going out to the high schools and visiting in recruiting processes. But it also, they do tours, which of course normally we're not doing now, but they have become very involved in our online recruiting process with us, because they are definitely our face of our student body. And then they, of course, they also work with our Student Government Association. Brittany Cochran and Kimberly French, who's not on the call tonight, are advisors for that program. Then why we were asking kind of about the social media platform is, since we're in this virtual world right now, we've created a virtual student center so that we can still stay connected and do engagement opportunities and have you involved in CVCC, just in a virtual world. So we just want to make sure that we know how to communicate with you and how we want to promote our activities. So in this virtual student center come fall, we will have a variety of activities that we'll be hosting. And then for my gamers, we're on Discord and doing things there, or Twitch and things like that. So we're using all outlets so that we can stay connected with our student population. So we hope that you are looking forward to starting off in this fall semester, although it won't be a normal one, but we're looking forward to helping you as you come. And please don't hesitate to contact myself or one of my colleagues here so that we can make sure your time at CVCC is a success. Thank you for joining us this evening, and I'm going to turn it back over to Brittany for Q&A.
Great, thank you, Deanne. Okay, so we have hit the question and answer part of this evening. So if you all have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or you can post them in the chat. We love questions, we're here to help. So not seeing anything in the chat just yet.
Brittany, I have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe just to get things started. Joy, you know, with counseling, there's always that stigma of, well, it's only if you're failing the class or you don't understand the class that you get counseling. Can you, I mean, does everybody receive counseling? Do students that are receiving straight A's, do they still go for help? I don't know, can you kind of talk about that? I'm curious.
Yes, no, it's just not the struggling students. We've had students who are straight A students come in just to, you know, go over material and make sure that they keep their grades there. So it's struggling students, it's straight A students, and those in between who just want to make sure that they, you know, understand the material and keep their grades up.
I'll add on that too, as an advisor. When you, as a student, when you meet with us, that's something you can come to us for, and we can help connect you with the testing or the tutoring center. So we can help schedule an appointment or a referral for you, and then that allows Joy's team to go ahead and reach out to you so an appointment can get set up. Okay, so let's see. I've got, I had one good question in the chat that I just wanted to bring up. They asked about the average cost of textbooks. So I'm not sure if anybody wanted to address that, but I kind of, it honestly depends. And just so you all know, a lot of our professors do try to provide free textbook options for you where the textbook is online. You always have the option though to have a printed textbook, and it is very affordable that way. For subjects like math, though, typically you always have to have a book. So that there'll always be a book for that subject, but it really just depends on the class. And then we've got one other question. So a student asking, should my classes be on my calendar by now? And questions about human service classes. Well, if you have already enrolled with us, if any of you have actually already met or enrolled yourself or met with one of us and got enrolled, yes, then you definitely should see classes on your class schedule. You can access your class schedule by logging into your My CVCC account. If you're not sure what your username and password happens to be, you'll have to reset your account. If you're not seeing any classes on your class schedule, you may have them sitting in what's called your shopping cart. So if you tried to enroll yourself, I know some students leave them in their shopping cart. You still have to finish enrolling. So I'm not sure if that helps answer your question. For human service classes, we don't have any human service specific classes, but if you're interested in going into that field, Mark, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Thank you, Brittany. You would be in the transfer portal, if you will. So again, the role of CVCC is, I've got to knock out those general requirements, the sciences, the social sciences, English, math, history, etc., that the four-year school is going to expect so I can earn my bachelor's degrees in social work or human services. Now, in terms of social sciences, I would think that a human services degree at most four-year institutions will call for sociologies and at least one psychology class. But we'd want to take a look at that four-year institution that you're considering to see if we can match up their requirements and what we offer to make sure you're taking classes that count.
And then Michael Duncan, this might be a question for you. So Chris asks, can you enroll in classes without a parent if you were less than 10 days away from being 18?
Yeah, pretty common question we get. The answer to that is, as long as you're under 18, we do need the parent permission. If you have a specific situation that you would like to ask us about, please feel free to contact us. We'd be happy to walk you through that policy and answer any specific questions that you have about that. But generally speaking, we do need parent permission if you're under 18. After you turn 18, we can remove the hold from your file and you can register. But until then, we're going to need the parent permission.
Good question. And Mark, maybe you want to take the question from, I think it's Jakia. I hope I said that correctly. Will I be a transfer student if I want to do the RN program?
Sure. This is a great test tonight to see if I remember to hit the unmute button. Yes, keep them coming, students. Okay, so depending on the RN program, are we talking Centra, Jakia, or are we talking Liberty or UVA or Radford or University of Lynchburg?
I think Centra.
Okay, so we've got the classes necessary for Centra. There are 5 prerequisite classes and 4 requisite classes that can be taken here at CVCC that fulfill Centra's requirements. And then I know Centra now has a BSN program as well. And there could be additional classes here at the college that will assist you should you choose to go on. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Thank you.
And I was going to jump in for a question that was asked earlier. We were missing Donna Grant Page tonight, who's our dual enrollment coordinator. And the person who asked about their classes being on their calendar, if you're dual enrolled, Donna Grant Page would be the person that you would need to get in contact with and she can tell you how your classes get added for your schedule and when they'll be added if you are dual enrolled.
Very good point. Thanks, Deanne. Okay, so, all right, I think Mark, you're reading this too. So, question student has mentioned they've graduated from Liberty University. They just need 3 more classes in human services. They've looked into some CVCC classes and additional courses needed for a certain mental health requirement. So who may they contact? So if you want to scroll up in the chat, I put our contact information and you can reach out to any of us. So reach out to any of the counselors. You can reach out to either myself or Mark directly on this call now. I also listed the counseling number. If you want to call that number tomorrow morning, we open at 8 a.m. and you will just get, the first person that's next available in line. And it sounds like let's one-on-one kind of have a meeting with you to determine kind of what your next best step is. All right, any more questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions right now, so I will pass it on to Michelle Fletcher, who will wrap up for tonight.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, panel, for that good information. Good stuff. Good stuff. And great questions as well. Good job. Have a few reminders, and then we're going to go ahead and close up for the evening. Next Tuesday, July 21st, we will have a representative from the library. And so I would encourage all of you that's on this call this evening, come back, please, and join us again on next Tuesday to hear the representative from the library. I promise you, much like tutoring, this will help you in your academic success. So again, if you can, join us on next Tuesday. As an FYI, all of the sessions are recorded and they are on our website and our YouTube channel. So go back again and again and again and listen in and hopefully learn a little something each time that you listen in. Thank you again for joining us this evening. We hope to see you again next week and have a good evening.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. And sorry, I threw up one last poll for those of you that are still on. This is just us to hopefully find out that you learned something new in today's session and that it was helpful for you. So if you're still on, just go ahead and fill that out. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. It looks like this was helpful for those that joined, and we are so glad that you guys were able to join us tonight. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Oh,